debt of gratitude.
Presidential Advisory Council holds last meeting with President Jonathan, says Nigerians must thank the president for stabilizing the polity. President-elect Muhammadu Buhari promises immediate action to security and Nigeria's economy. And Nigerians asked to brace for tougher times as the nation's cash crunch bites harder. Welcome to NTA Network News. My name is Muhammad Kuda Abubakar. Former Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Emeka Enyaku, says Nigeria owes President Goodluck Jonathan a debt of gratitude for the successful 2015 general elections and for conceding victory at the polls. Enyaku made this statement at the breakfast meeting with President Goodluck Jonathan by members of the Presidential Advisory Council on International Relations, headed by Enyaku. It was the last meeting of the council and also the last with the outgoing President Jonathan.
Our nation, Nigeria, owes him a huge debt of gratitude for what he has done in terms of the elections, the success of the elections, and gesture in picking up his telephone and congratulating the president-elect even before the results of the final results of the elections were announced. That singular act has earned our country a great deal of admiration and respect abroad. And we thanked him and congratulated him on that. And we also wished him well for his future endeavors.
Senate has mandated its Committee on Defense and Army to liaise with the military high command towards unraveling circumstances surrounding the violent attacks on Kadarku village in Wasa local government area in Plateau State by unknown gunmen. This followed a point of order on the incident raised by Senator Victor Lar from Plateau State. National Assembly correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the Senate also resolved to plead with President Goodluck Jonathan over the suspension of the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Senator Victor Lar had told the Senate that the gunmen wearing military uniforms stormed Kadarko village last Saturday in over 10 Hilux vans, shooting sporadically and destroying properties on site.
In the process, they sacked 5 villages, killed over 50 people, wounded over 100, and more than 20,000 people are displaced.
Our prayer is that we should see to the end of this insurgency in any form, whether it is armed militia or insurgency or any kind of unfortunate attack on ordinary citizens.
In a similar point of order, Deputy Senate Leader Abdul Nengi brought to the notice of the Senate the suspension of the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs by the President over the recall of the High Commissioner to South Africa as a result of the unfortunate xenophobic attacks. He said recent resolution of the Senate might have prompted the action, but acknowledged that due process was not followed by the Permanent Secretary.
I therefore want the Senate not to look the other way. Urge the President to temper justice with mercy.
The issue of recall or invitation of a diplomat for questioning is a very sensitive matter that must be handled with every caution. So we've noted the sentiment expressed and will convey the feelings accordingly to Mr. President.
Meanwhile, the Senate has passed for third reading the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Bill 2015. Apart from comprehensively addressing the offense of rape, the bill also seeks to prevent all forms of violence against persons, protect victims of violence in both public and private sectors, and ensure punishment for perpetrators.
I believe that this should be able to provide adequate protection for those who are vulnerable and then punish those who take advantage of them.
The lawmakers also adopted the Conference Committee report on a bill for an act to provide for the prohibition, prevention, detection, response, investigation, and prosecution of cybercrimes in Nigeria. And following the adoption of the report of the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition, the Senate has ordered the National Maritime Administration and Safety Agency NIMASA to reinstate one Adamu Wasagu, unlawfully removed from office and be formally retired. He is also to be paid all his entitlements from 1999 to date, including retirement benefits. In the meantime, the president has forwarded to the Senate for confirmation his nominees, Munir Gwarzo for appointment as Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, as well as Abdullahi Mukhtar Mohammed and 6 others as chairman and members of the National Hajj Commission. In Abuja, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Still on the legislature, members of the House of Representatives have described the recurring fuel crisis in Nigeria as an embarrassment to the nation. Representative Karimi Sunday of Kogi State, in a motion on Tuesday's House of Representatives plenary, urged relevant agencies of government to resolve all disputes on outstanding payments of subsidies. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Okafor reports.
The House of Representatives resumed plenary on Tuesday with attention of lawmakers drawn to scarcity of petroleum products across the country. Representative Karimu Sunday said the non-availability of petrol has resulted to long queues of vehicles at the few petrol stations that have the product. Lawmakers debated for and against the motion, while also raising questions on efforts by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and the Finance Ministry to reconcile subsidy claims by marketers and other issues which appear to have exacerbated the fuel situation across the country.
There is no ideal place than a total removal of subsidy. So there is need for this present House, before we conclude, to make sure this present problem is brought to an end. We are confronted as a nation with challenges that border on we paying huge amount of resources and subsidies on a continuous basis, where oil marketers are sometimes holding us to a ransom. Because of the fact that there's no fuel, people are finding it difficult to travel, the artisans are no longer working. In fact, those people that are supposed to even go to their various offices can no longer move. The motion is standing on a very weak foundation. Now, this issue came up as of last week on issues of payment of subsidy by independent marketers. And that issue, you agree with me totally, was resolved. We are proposing to legislate for the incoming administration. I also find that a bit disturbing. So I think it could make a lot of sense for us to come up with a prayer that is passable.
The motion, however, failed to scale through as majority of the members voted against it. In another development, the House has summoned an emergency meeting of the Conference of Former Speakers of State Houses of Assembly on Wednesday, 6th of May, to be chaired by the National Chairman, Conference of Speakers, and Governor-elect of Plateau State, Representative Simon Lalong. The House of Representatives plenary was thereafter adjourned to Wednesday, the 6th of May. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Okafor, NTA News.
Nigeria's President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari says the incoming administration will pay immediate attention to security and the nation's dwindling economy. The President-elect stated this when he played host to governors-elect and governors on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Correspondent Ismail Musa has details of these and other engagements at the Defense House, Abuja.
Nigeria's President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari, while expressing gratitude to Nigerians for their confidence in the APC, however, stressed that the incoming administration will require time to reorganize the nation's economy. The visit of the APC governors, the Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha says, is to share views on the problem of salary payments by some states and the need to fast-track the nation's socio-economic development.
And we have come to notify the incoming president and commander-in-chief of the challenges ahead of him. As it stands today, most states of the Federation have not been able to pay salaries.
Similarly, officials of the United Progressive Party, UPP, on a congratulatory visit, have promised to mobilize public support for the incoming administration to ensure that illegally acquired public funds are retrieved.
You know, we are in no position, and we've come to extend our hand of fellowship. We have come to
give solidarity to the incoming president, and we say to him that ours shall be constructive engagement.
The Senate leader, Victor Ndoma Egba, led the delegation from Cross River to also pledge its support for the incoming administration. Other visitors to the Defense House include the APC Youth Vanguard, the president of the ECOWAS Bank for Investment, Bashir Mamman, traditional and religious leaders. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has inaugurated the party's post-election assessment committee to appraise the PDP's performance in the 2015 general elections. Performing the inauguration, the national chairman of the PDP, Alhaji Adamu Muazu, who was represented by the national secretary, Professor Wale Oladipo, said members of the committee were chosen based on their integrity. He urged them to do a thorough job to move the PDP forward. The chairman of the 17-member committee, Senator Ike Ukweremadu, stressed the need for PDP members to draw lessons from the outcome of the elections.
His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Ebele congratulated the declared winner of that election in this country was unprecedented. He did not threaten to make the country ungovernable, neither did he threaten to form a parallel government. He respected the declaration, and the country today is peaceful. We are proud of this man. He has given definite instruction that all acts of unwarranted attack and counter-attacks on members and leadership of the party should stop immediately.
We assure you all that we will carry out this assignment to the best of our ability and without fear or favor. We will ensure that all shades of opinion are heard. This is the only sure way to get to the root of the matter and achieve the intended results.
To Enugu now, where the Enugu State Governor, Sullivan Chime, has described as malicious and unfounded the allegations of the financial misconduct leveled against him by 15 members of the Enugu State House of Assembly. The governor made the clarifications while reacting to the actions of the Enugu State lawmakers. Nkiru Ayefina has the report.
Speaking to journalists at Government House Enugu, the governor described the actions of the lawmakers. Activities in contention were carried out during his first tenure, wondering why they are now being brought to the front burner.
So they had this document before they treated our 2013 budget. I don't know what they are alleging, whether it was forged, but whatever forgery, I've shown you the same figure. Nothing was changed.
On the issue of impeachment proceedings against him, the governor explained that there are constitutional provisions regarding every stage in the process and wondered why an administration that has less than 1 month to go will be subjected to such baseless allegations. Governor Chime said projects executed by the administration were always deliberated upon by the Executive Council before approvals, while those requiring legislative assent are subjected to. He stressed that at no time did the executive arm of government usurp the functions of other arms of government. He gave an assurance that the recent activities of some of these legislators will not in any way mar the existing peace and harmony in the state or the transition process. In Enugu, Nkiru Anyefena, NTA News.
Apologies for the poor quality of that audio report. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, says Nigerians should brace up for tougher times as the cash crunch continues to bite. The minister, who briefed the media on the latest changes to the 2015 budget as passed by the National Assembly, also affirmed that contrary to the speculations, the budget has provisions for fuel subsidy. Leah Katumba Batunde has the report.
Members of the media, Finance Minister and Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, said the National Assembly passed a benchmark oil price of $53 per barrel, $1 higher than the budget proposal, generating an extra revenue of 54.25 billion naira for the federal government. She said other key parameters driving the oil revenue side of the budget were retained, with oil production volume of 2.2782 million barrels per day, an exchange rate of 190 naira to the dollar. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala explained that borrowing increased to 863 billion naira this year, and 472 billion naira has been assessed so far. Expenditure rose as interest rates and differentials from the past had to be paid this year to fuel marketers.
We have not been able to disburse capital because the cash resources were not there. And I just want, I'm openly sharing that with Nigerians so they know exactly the situation we have been in.
She said the National Assembly approved 100 billion naira and 45.52 billion naira provision for fuel and kerosene subsidy proposed by the executive. With government's revenue dropping by 50% in the past 1 year, first quarter earnings were also slim, a trend she said will revert mid-year when companies begin to declare end-of-year report.
Coming in the middle of the year, so we tend to have a very low first half and a higher middle, and then towards the end of the year it's low again.
Aggregate capital expenditure, inclusive of transfers and Shopee, was increased to 722.2 billion naira from 663.67 billion naira, representing an increase of about 58.57 billion naira. In Abuja, Leah Katungbaba-Tunde, NTA News.
From finance to agriculture, where the Agriculture Minister, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, has appeared before the House Committee on Agriculture to defend the federal government's policy on rice import quota and duty payments. The minister explained that the companies that imported rice above the approved quota owe the federal government more than 30 billion naira. Musa Baba Aliyu has the report.
Rice import policy was designed primarily to encourage local rice production and processing, as well as to cover demand deficit. Under the policy, indigenous rice millers enjoy tariff of 10% levy and 20% duty, while importers pay 60% levy and 10% duty. Dr. Akinwumi Adesina alleged that the policy was abused by some companies and agro-allied industries, whereby about 300,000 tons of rice were imported without due process.
Anybody that has imported above the allocated quota, you have to pay it at 10 and 60, not 10 and 20. Meaning that anybody that has done that owe Nigerian government money and must pay.
Chairman of the ad hoc committee and House Deputy Leader Leo Ogo appealed to all those owing to pay to enable the House investigate all pending issues. He therefore directed the Minister of Agriculture to suspend 2015 quota allocation.
This funds belongs to the federal, state, and local government. So these funds definitely must be recovered. If they go beyond what they are even doing, they must be recovered with interest.
Other relevant stakeholders had appeared before the House Committee on the issue. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Information Minister Senator Patricia Kwashiki has applauded the role of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in showcasing Nigeria positively to the rest of the world. Correspondent Anthony Fosun reports that the minister stated this when she visited NTA in continuation of her familiarization tour of media organizations under the Federal Ministry of Information.
Akwashiki, on arrival at the NTA premises, was received by the Director General Shola Omole. While interacting with members of the NTA Management Board, she said NTA as an organization has distinguished itself for excellence. With government's lean resources, the authority, she observed, has the capacity to generate self-sustaining funds.
NTA should be paid for everything, you know, people should pay. It shouldn't be like a social responsibility thing. You need money to push your programs, to change your equipments, to enhance staff welfare, to give us this beautiful environment we are sitting in. So, you know, I am truly of the opinion that, yes, instead of government paying billions of naira to private organizations. I think they should pump in more money to NTA because we are capable of doing it.
NTA's Director General told the minister that the success story in the NTA has been propelled by his management team, who have confidence in his vision for the authority.
Because with the best will in the world, I cannot do everything by myself. It's a totality of the employees who are working together and realizing the objective that we've set for ourselves. We provide the leadership and then the key into it, and we get the job done.
Conducting the minister around facilities, the Director General said NTA, as the foremost TV station in Africa, must blaze the trail, hence the coming on stream of its ultra-modern studio fitted with high-definition facilities. The minister was also at the News 24 Wonder Cube facility, as well as the NTA Star Times control room, where the Managing Director, TV Enterprise, Maxwell Loko, explained the workings of the Star Times platform to the minister. The minister, in the end, gave the NTA management team, headed by the Director General Shola Omole, a pat on the back.
The whole place is professionally run, which is what you expect in an organization like this.
I feel encouraged. I feel humbled. I feel that the team, the total NTA team, would be encouraged that they received such glowing remarks in terms of our total output.
In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Arrest them, prosecute them. Acting Inspector General of Police reads Riot Act to Commissioners of Police on youths and cultism. Details of these and others after these messages.
Discover the liquid freshness of Center Fresh chewing gum that you feel. And others too. Center Fresh. Trust the freshness.
As broadcasters and media practitioners in Nigeria, prepare to switch to digital platform. The Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, in conjunction with BSP Media International UK, presents the first international summit on digital broadcasting in Nigeria. The two-day industry summit with the theme Digital Broadcasting in Nigeria, Promoting Our Values and Enriching Our Lives, will feature the 63rd Assembly of Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria.
NBC will present a keynote address titled Implementing a Strong and Vibrant Digital Broadcasting and Media Service in Nigeria. And it will be declared open by the Honorable Minister of Information, Senator Patricia Akwashiki. The summit, which will attract policymakers, industry regulators, privately owned and public broadcast organizations, cable television and satellite operators, aggregators, signal distributors, amongst others, will hold from 6 to 7th May 2015 at the Sheraton Hotels and Towers, Abuja at 9 a.m. daily.
Announcer Shola Omole, Chairman, Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria.
Want your bathroom to dazzle? Give your toilet the Hypo treatment to brighten and also kill germs, so your bathroom stays disinfected and squeaky clean.
A hectic lifestyle or overeating can cause a burning pain in your chest. That's heartburn. Take Gaviscon. One dose relieves in 3 minutes to soothe the pain of heartburn. It goes straight to the source to work for hours, providing long-lasting relief.
That's why I recommend Gaviscon.
I recommend Gaviscon. Gaviscon, fast relief you can actually feel.
If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor.
Hello, my name is Professor Mandisi Legon. Last year, when we in AfriHub decided to undertake to be a part of the graduate internship scheme, we were very, very certain that that program was good for us. Today, we have taken in 25 graduate interns in different disciplines. Signing up for the GIS has been of tremendous value to AfriHub. I urge all employers to be a part of this great program. It is a program that really assures that we are keen into our corporate social responsibility.
To join the scheme, register and take graduates to work for you while government pays them. For more information, visit the website The graduate internship scheme is set up to create jobs for Nigerian graduates.
Blue Eye Steel. Need to be on top of your game? Blue Eye Steel. Optimum protection. Simply irresistible. Blue Eye Steel. 48-hour protection. You're fresher than ever. Truly cool and so confident. Blue Eye Steel. Now you dare.
Know that you are exposed to up to 100 illness-causing germs every day.
I encourage my kids to learn new things, and if they get hurt, I rely on my Dettol to fight germs. It's like my own first aid kit. My family needs protection from germs. My Dettol disinfects surfaces and clothes, keeping them clean and safe from germs.
This is NTA Network News. Thank you for being there. Acting Inspector General of Police Solomon Arache says his administration will be defined by content to enable Nigeria have the desired police force qualitative enough to achieve our Nigeria's aspirations. Bonaventure Umodo has details.
The Acting Inspector General of Police said Nigeria has highly rated officers comparable to most advanced nations in the world. But what is needed is to drive the manpower potential of the force to blend with purposeful and motivational leadership at strategic level.
On my part, I can assure you that I will provide the highest possible level of professional and responsible leadership, while trusting that you shall march hand in hand with me as dependable professional colleagues to advance the fortunes of the force.
He advised the officers and men of the Nigerian police force to manifest full capacity as a lead agent in the internal security architecture of the country.
A strategic policy vision documentaries encapsulates intelligence-led policing, community partnership, restorative justice, reassurance policing, healthy respect for human rights will be developed in due course.
He said part of his immediate concern is to develop policing protocols to address the challenges of high-level crime and ensure police professionalism in the investigation and prosecution of cases. Bonaventure Wood, NTA News.
Still on the Acting Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, who has seriously expressed concern about the activity of cult groups in Benue, Rivers, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom states. In a statement signed by the Force Public Relations Officer, CP Emmanuel Ojukwu, the acting IG directed all command commissioners of police and divisional police officers of the affected states to arrest and prosecute youths engaging themselves in the cult activities in order to forestall the increasing menace. The statement said the IGP advised parents and guardians to warn their wards and children against this social menace that can jeopardize their future. With just a few weeks to the expiration of the tenure of the present administration, Minister of Interior Patrick Abba-Moro says the government remains focused in its transformation agenda, especially towards addressing the plight of Nigerians. The minister stated this while commissioning block of flats for officers of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Abuja. Aliyu Kabir has the report.
The gap of housing deficit of Nigerians is one of the cardinal objectives of President Goodluck Jonathan's transformation agenda, of which the security personnel are part of the beneficiaries. These houses comprise of 8 two-bedroom duplex as well as 12 units of two-bedroom apartments. The block of flats named after the Minister of Interior are constructed by the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. The minister said this is the third phase of the project aimed at improving their welfare to enhance performance.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has not only keyed into that aspect of the transformation agenda of Mr. President, but has demonstrated capacity to build these houses for each staff, and many more are on the pipeline for commissioning before May 29, 2015.
And it shows that government also is encouraging and motivating them and discouraging them from other unethical activities.
The Commandant General of the NSCDC said plans are underway to adequately motivate the officers to put in their best in protecting lives and property of citizens. In Abuja, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan has approved the appointment of Mrs. Asabe Asma'u Ahmed as Executive Secretary, Petroleum Equalization Fund, PEF. Mrs. Ahmed, who is currently the Minister of State for Agriculture and Rural Development, takes over from Mrs. Sharon Adefunke Kasali, who has been Executive Secretary of PEF since 2007. The new PEF Executive Secretary is from Niger State. President Jonathan has similarly approved the appointment of Mr. Denzel Amagbe Kentebe as Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content Management Development Board. Mr. Kentebe, an architect with years of experience in strategic planning and policy management, takes over from Engineer Enes Nwapa, who has been Executive Secretary of the NCDMB since April 2010. About 1,000 primary school classrooms in Borno State were destroyed by Boko Haram insurgents. This is contained in a report submitted by a committee set up by the Borno State government to resuscitate primary education. Omar Sadiq has the report.
Submitting the report to Governor Kashim Shettima, chairman of the committee, Dr. Mohammed El-Nur Dongel, revealed that out of the over 1,000 primary schools in Borno State, only 57 are open, pointing out that over 500,000 children of school age are out of school as a result of the lingering security challenges bedeviling the state. The committee therefore made a passionate appeal for urgent measures by stakeholders to salvage the system.
For local governments, we selected partner schools. Out of the partner schools, we have covered over 30 schools, and we made sure all 30 schools have good water, with boreholes, overhead tanks, kitchen, feeding, fencing, security gadgets, and any of the school you can visit can be compared to any school anywhere in the country.
Governor Kashim Shettima describes the situation as challenging, noting that government would in the coming days solicit the assistance of local and international donor agencies to address the problem.
What we intend to do is to reinforce whatever we have, train the trainable among them, and see to it that those that are paid to teach go to their schools every day to teach. We need to really have a paradigm shift in our attitudinal disposition as leaders so that education should regain its rightful place.
He thanked members of the committee for being meticulous and committed in carrying out their assignment. In Maiduguri, Umar Sadiq, NTA News.
In celebration of creativity and excellent performance, the National Council for Arts and Culture has honored Nigerian school children who distinguished themselves in the international children's art competitions. Taiwo Odugbeson has the report.
This component of the second Nigerian Art Olympiad with the theme My Favorite Sport was organized to bring out the creativity in school children between 8 and 12 years, organized by the International Arts Foundation, Washington, D.C., USA. The second for students who participated in the 44th and 45th World School Children's Art Exhibition, Republic of China, is also to promote cross-cultural understanding amongst the younger generation through the use of art and creativity.
This victory indicates that the Nigerian child is ready to explore and match his or her artistic potential with their peers all over the world.
The finalists of the second Nigerian Olympiad are 12-year-old Ibrahim Mustafa and Abdul Malik Ibrahim, both from Holy Child Private School, Dutse, Abuja, while the bronze medalists of the 44th and 45th World School Children Arts Competition are Victoria Nwokema and Meza Bruma of Government Secondary School, Abuja, and Daystar Students Academy, Kaduna. The National Council for Arts and Culture appealed to embassies, high commissions and donor agencies for partnership in order to keep encouraging Nigerian children to participate in future competitions both locally and internationally. In Abuja, Taiwo Odubeson, NTA News.
Time now to link up with our Lagos Network Center, where Demola is standing by with the latest on election petition tribunals and some developments on asthma.
Thank you, Kudu, and good evening. Welcome to Lagos. The chairman of the Election Petition Tribunal for Lagos governorship election, Justice Silvanus Origi, has warned that the tribunal will not tolerate any action or omission aimed at delaying or frustrating the hearing and determination of the petition. He said this today in Lagos at the inaugural sitting of the tribunal. Viera Chiwamba reports that the tribunal also granted the PDP governorship standard bearer, Jimmy Agbaje's request to inspect the voters' register and all other materials used for the April 11th governorship election.
Lagos State has 2 election petition tribunals for National Assembly and State House of Assembly and Governorship, with 2 chairmen and 4 members. The chairman of Governorship Election Tribunal, Justice Silvanus Origi, asked the council to take procedural steps in accordance with the Electoral Act to avoid delays. He said election petitions are delicate and sensitive and therefore must be determined within the time limit as specified in Section 285, subsection 6 of the Constitution. PDP governorship standard bearer in the April 11 governorship election sought the leave of court to inspect all voting materials and was granted. The applicant is also asking the tribunal to nullify the election and declare him winner of the April 11th election, following some observed irregularities which contravened INEC-approved guidelines for the conduct of 2015 election, including the petitioner's interest.
What is left for us now is to serve the orders of INEC and ensure that there's compliance by them.
They will not have access to register the voters, used for presidential election. So the court rightfully rejected that.
The tribunal, in addition, granted the application of PDP Lagos State House of Assembly candidate Muhyiddin Abdurrahim's request to inspect voting materials. The tribunal has so far received 40 petitions. In Lagos, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
Concerned about the rising incidence of asthma in the country, the Nigeria Thoracic Society has organized a public lecture and walk to create awareness in Nigeria. Joy Ken Abakoya has the details.
Asthma is a long-term lung disease that inflames and narrows the airways. The disease, which causes recurring periods of wheezing, coughing and tightness of the chest, is said to affect 300 million people worldwide. In Nigeria, an estimated 6 million people, mostly children, suffer from asthma, with about 6% of hospitalized patients dying from the disease annually.
Asthma can be controlled, in which case your symptoms frequency can be minimized.
It's estimated that 6 million of us have it, but only a fraction. And without drawing this awareness, most people would know that they have a problem, but they don't know what their problem is.
The medical experts give tips on the management of asthma, which they disclosed is caused by a combination of genetic and environmental factors.
When a patient works closely with their doctor, they develop a plan. And with that plan and compliance, nearly all asthma deaths can be prevented.
An asthmatic should, as much as possible, avoid dusty occupations.
Studies have shown worldwide, published, you can check it up yourself, that asthmatics have a higher intelligence than the average population.
The first Tuesday of May every year is set aside by the Global Initiative for Asthma to mark World Asthma Day. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakpoya, NTA News.
Change is the only constant. Anything defined can be refined. Welcome to the new look of FCMB, the new look of opportunity. FCMB, my bank and I.
Chi Happy Hour, burst of refreshment.
House of Chi.
Hello, my name is Malik and this is my Kemu story. We're all addicted to mobile phones, but I didn't realize how huge until I started selling on the internet with Kemu.com. In a few clicks, I listed my products online.
Start your business today. It's that easy. Kemu.com.
Causes the body to sweat, which attracts germs that are easily passed from one person to another.
What keeps you so cool, man?
Dettol Cool combines Dettol's protection with added menthol to protect from germs. Cool gives you maximum protection against germs every day from head to toes and an invincible icy feel. For super cool confidence, use Dettol Cool. Maximum protection against germs every day.
Welcome back to NTA Network News. If you are asked to make a choice between foreign foods and locally grown foods, what will be your choice? Chazala Mekie on Business News reveals the economic and health implications of foreign foods.
Many thanks, Kudu. Good evening and a warm welcome to Business Segment. Nigerian markets are now flooded with imported fruits and other consumables, some of which are locally produced. Our investigation revealed that most of these goods are competing with the locally produced fruits, thereby denying our local markets the attendant economic benefits.
The more you buy locally made goods, the more you give money to local producers, the more they upgrade their standard. But when the local producers discover that they are competing with foreign dumpers, they will not have enough financial muscle, especially the profit they get from what they say, in order to upgrade. So they continue being where they are.
How prepared are we to monitor the safety of the food we consume, given the reason by some that our fruits are not properly packaged?
With the formation of National Food Safety Management Committee, a lot is going to be seen, the difference will be seen very clearly. Because why is this so? Those on farm, they are going to abide by good farm practices. Then those in processing will abide by good processing ethics. Those in export, those for direct sales in Nigerian market, I mean in case of fruits and fruits that are eaten directly, everything will be taken care of.
Because all our foods are organic, and that's what is vogue now elsewhere, because with the genetically engineered foods, we are beginning to see that there are a lot of problems.
While Nigerians are optimistic that given the desired attention, locally made goods will certainly take their pride of place. And next is graphic details of trading activities on the floor of the Nigerian stock markets. And that's Business Package tonight. I am Chiazala Mekie. It's back to you, Kudu, for more on the news.
Thank you, Chazla. A two-day seminar on interfaith relations and political stability in Nigeria with the theme Breaking the Cycle of Identity Politics has ended in Minna, the Niger State capital. The training program, organized by the Development Initiative of West Africa in collaboration with Islamic Education Trust and Dawah Institute of Nigeria, seeks to foster understanding and promote relationships between adherents of two major religions in Nigeria. Dauda Mohammed has the report.
Development Initiative of West Africa, DIWA, is a non-governmental organization with the aim of addressing critical long-term issues affecting vulnerable communities and peaceful coexistence in a multi-religious and multicultural environment. It is funded by donor organizations. President Islamic Education Trust Mina Sheikh Ahmed Lemu, while declaring the seminar open, commended the organizers of the talk shop.
What we are doing here is to have mutual understanding between Muslims and Christians and ways to achieve peaceful coexistence.
Director of Development Initiative of West Africa, Saidu Takuma, in his opening remarks said it is hoped that issues discussed will form the basis for more discussions in areas of contention. The occasion featured paper presentations and discussions by eminent scholars and religious leaders from the two main religions in the country.
It is very timely because it is coming at a time we are having lots of religious challenges.
There are issues that are not entirely un-Islamic, but there are also issues that can be contested through dialogue, not by bloodshed.
In Mina, Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
Executive Secretary, Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, John Kennedy Okpara, has reiterated the determination of the Commission to leave an enduring legacy of excellent service to Nigerian pilgrims through a transparent process for selecting ground handlers and air carriers. He stated this in Abuja at the opening of bid for ground handlers and air carriers for the 2015 Christian pilgrimage. Correspondent Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
That is the opening of the bids publicly, an action Mr. Kennedy Okpara said is for integrity purpose. He emphasized that the Technical Evaluation Committee will check the parameter based on the information they are given. Those who qualify and meet their standards will carry the pilgrims to the Christian pilgrimage to the satisfaction of all concerned.
As usual, for the past 5-6 years we have done it and nobody has ever taken us anywhere because they have been convinced with our process and act.
The chairman, Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission, Primate Church of Nigeria and Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Nicholas Uko, says they expect the board to go through a thorough process of selecting the best handlers.
Some of them have been in the business, some are actually new. So we believe that going through the process, we'll be able to select the best of the old and possibly the best also from among the new.
The 2015 pilgrimage will begin with the youth pilgrimage on the 25th of July 2015. As at the time of filing in this report, 9 bids for the ground handlers had been opened. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
Reports just reaching us says the Speaker, Niger State House of Assembly, Adamu Usman, has been impeached for alleged over-familiarity with the executive arm of government of Niger State. Suleiman Kodogi reports that Isa Kawu, representing Bida 1 state constituency, has been elected as the new speaker. The ousted speaker, Adamu Usman, is reported to have described his impeachment as illegal and a violation of court order.
Member representing Lavu constituency Jacob Majigana, as a matter of urgent public importance, moved the motion for the impeachment of the former speaker Adamu Usman, which was seconded by Jibrin Bawa representing Suleja constituency. 19 out of the 25 lawmakers had earlier signed the impeachment notice, but 17 members present at the plenary voted in favor of the impeachment, which they said represents more than the required 2/3 majority. In line with the Rule 8 of the Standing Order of the House, Jacob Majigana nominated member representing Bida 1 constituency, Isa Kawu, as the new Speaker of the House, with other principal officers.
From what just demonstrated outside there and is still there, it's exactly what it means. If not that, what will have explanation to this? You were called for a proper sitting, not you calling yourself, but the same leadership. You not come for the same call, to answer the same call, only to be harassed. No, I don't think it's proper. Then there's more that we need to know, that we're yet to know.
The House Clerk, Abdullah Muhammad Kagara, then administered the oath of office on the new Speaker Isa Kawu and his deputy Bello Hamad, respectively. The new Speaker, Niger State House of Assembly, Isa Kawu, appreciated his colleagues for the confidence reposed in him and promised to do his best in the interest of the House and the state as a whole. The Speaker then directed the Clerk of the House to make available 5 copies to the Governor informing him about the change in the leadership of the House. Meanwhile, the ousted Speaker, Adamu Usman, in a press conference thereafter described the action of the lawmakers as an illegal process of impeachment and maintained that he is still the Speaker of the House.
We, leadership here, being impeached or alleged to have been impeached, to us, it is just a mirage and it is just what will I call it, a figment of their imagination. This
security operatives had earlier locked up the gate of the assembly complex to forestall the removal of the speaker. In Mina, Suleiman Kodogi, NTA News.
Now to regional matters, the only way to overcome the fear of death is by preparing for it, and this can be achieved through obedience to the Creator. This was the central message at the 3-day prayers for the late Chief Imam of Abuja National Mosque, Sheikh Musa Muhammad. Correspondent Ali Tukur reports that the prayers were held at the Abuja National Mosque.
8,500 naira in his budget. Bring out 500 naira, give it to his son. Go and do this. The son is here. The remaining 8,000 naira, he said, Muhammad al-Kabir, take this and give it out sadaqah.
That was one of the deputy imams of Abuja National Mosque, Ustaz Muhammad Kabir, giving account of some of the deeds of late Sheikh Musa Muhammad before he was taken to the Abuja National Hospital on Friday. The late Chief Imam was described as a man who spent his life preaching peace, unity, religious tolerance and obedience to the Creator.
He's one man that we have lost. I don't think we'll have somebody that can replace him exactly as he was.
You got to conscious and do good and do the right thing.
After a brief history and tribute to the late Chief Imam by friends, colleagues and close associates, scholars took turn to pray to grant eternal peace to the soul of the deceased.
The only thing we can do for him now is to remind him in prayers, which we have kick-started.
Before our time comes, we should make the best of the opportunity that we have.
Death should be a reminder for every human being who fears God. The time will come.
Highlights of the event include recitation of the Quran.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
In Abuja, Ali Tukur, NTA News.
Overhead, global tidbits and sports updates. Don't go away.
The agenda for the 8th National Assembly is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live, incisive, informative, enlightening and engaging. Don't be told. Join us.
The Honorable Minister of the FCT, Senator Bala Abdulkadir Mohammed, and the FCT administration cordially invites all to the commissioning of the Umar Musa Yaradua Expressway, Lot 2, Airport Road, and the inspection of Abuja Light Rail Project by His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Venue, Lugbe Interchange, Lugbe, Airport Road, Abuja. Date, Thursday, 7th May 2015. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Management. Announcer.
His Excellency the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Shehu Shema, CON, Sarkin Fulanin Katsina, cordially invites the general public to the official commissioning of Ibrahim Shehu Shema Orthopedic and Specialty Hospital, which will inshallah hold as follows. Date 6 May 2015. Venue, Ibrahim Shehu Shema Orthopedic and Specialty Hospital, Dusunma Road, Katsina. Time 10 a.m. Special guest of honor, General Abdul Salam Abubakar, retired GCFR, former head of state, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Welcome to the home of hospitality. Announcer, Organizing Committee.
So, Afana, don't you do so? Na promo. You step on become millionaire.
You never hear say NAFDAC don't bring wetin they call mobile authentication service. We go help us know whether medicine na fake or not before we pay. Now, come see. As I scratch this thing wey be like recharge card so, come send the PIN to 38353 free of charge. I go call receive text message to confirm. Okay, original. Troy. Just like that, we confirm whether medicine is fake or not instant. Now when you say no wise up, make you help not and spread the story. Not the way that. Madam, come and take your money.
Now, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, they bring on this message.
Hussein. officials vow to free thousands of child soldiers, and the U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry visits Somalia. These are more on Global Tidbits with Talatu Ezrike.
The African Union commitment to the fight against child soldiers in the continent is yielding results as armed groups in Central African Republic have agreed to release children they are holding with a promise not to recruit child soldiers. According to UNICEF, between 6,000 and 10,000 children were recruited by armed forces in Central African Republic. From Somalia, reports say that U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is on a surprise visit that is largely to give diplomatic push to the country's fight against Al-Shabaab. In Zimbabwe, efforts are being intensified to boost food sufficiency after annual crop yields dropped by nearly half due to poor rains. The country intends to import tons of corn from neighboring countries, and the last is yet to be heard about Iran nuclear deal. This time, France and Saudi Arabia are saying that any future nuclear accord between Iran and the 6 major powers must be robust, verifiable, and pose no threat to neighboring countries. That is all on Global Tidbits. Talatu Ezrike, NTA News.
And on sports, Nigeria will miss out of the 4x200 meters men and 4x400 meters women of the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, as Filipino boxer Manny Pacquiao faces disciplinary action for not disclosing his shoulder injury. Ayodeji Makinde has the spot update.